All right, welcome back everyone to yet another PGL Season 18 interview. Today we have our second newcomer on the interview, or in the interview chair, I guess you could say. Not a whole lot of accolades. Started playing draft relatively green to draft, only been around for about a year, but already has won a league, so one championship under the belt, maybe hoping to get another championship out of the PGL. Enzoo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Good, good. I'm doing great. Happy to be here. Happy to be still running these interviews. We're almost done with them. We've almost hit up every coach of the season, so that's pretty exciting. So you've done some drafts before. Before I get into the question I always lead with, have you done low tier style drafts before this one?
So I've done one low tier draft, but it wasn't the most serious thing. It's kind of just goofing around, you know?
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's good to have fun, goof around. Not every league needs to be crazy serious, like bring the best you've
Yeah.
got, prep 10 hours a week. Like that creates burnout real quick. So having a more low-key draft is fun for sure. Okay, good to know, because I think someone else I interviewed, this was their first low tier, and that's kind of crazy to me because the rule set is so much different than the normal one. So just wanted to kind of get a pulse check on that.
hmm
So question, well, I'll start with what I always do. PGL Season 18, it is a low tier Nat Dex league. We have even lower tier Terra Captains. We've got super tight or relatively tight budget. And then no cut move or all cut moves are allowed except for Hidden Power and Pursuit. So pretty interesting rule set. What were your thoughts going in? I know you may have been building with a couple of the other coaches. It seems like you three kind of had a back-to-back-to-back drafting order between the three of you, between Killer Jays and Benny. So tell me your thoughts going in. Tell me about these first couple picks you have. It looks like you went super fast offensive and super bulky defensive for your first two, which is cool. So let me know a little of your thoughts on those first two picks and just your drafting overall.
So yeah, when we got the draft order, it was pretty funny because obviously we were all helping each other prep, and then we could just like snipe each other if we wanted to because we were right next to each other. So that was funny. But then on the first few picks, I remember I was like I was never home because I was traveling during that time, so I had to make it like quick. I couldn't really like, thoroughly look at the doc.
Mm-hmm.
So for the first one on I just, looked at the high tiers. I saw Septile there. I like Septile, so
Mm-hmm.
I picked that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it came around to me again, I was typing in a group chat with Killer Jays and Benny,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, guys, what should I pick? I haven't looked at the doc. And then Benny mentions Empoleon, and I think about it for a second, and I'm like, I think that synergizes really well with Sceptile. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go ahead and take it. I don't want to stall the draft out. So like I didn't even look at the doc. I just picked Empoleon. And then like two picks later, I look again and I realized it was 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just had to go with it.
Yeah.
So that's fun. But I don't mind it. It's still I think it looks good in my team. So
Yeah, that's pretty funny, just look down and you're like, oh, there goes almost half my budget. But honestly,
yeah.
you couldn't have picked much of a better piece for Mega Sceptile. So Mega Sceptile on its own, big offensive piece. Has that lightning rod ability, even though it's quad resist to electric, so that's nice for Empoleon. And then Empoleon on that counterpoint has the quad resistance to the ice type moves that Sceptile really doesn't want to take. So they really do play a lot. Also, Empoleon has that defog that you can pick up early. You picked up your steel type early, your water early, and then you have flip turn on Empoleon, if I'm not mistaken. So you can get Mega Sceptile in safely because it is, relatively frail. So I think those two have fantastic synergy as a top two piece on your team. I mean, I think Empoleon was a great call out. I wouldn't have been able to tell
Mhm.
if you just made that decision after a ton of research and thinking about it, and not just kind of picking on a whim. So I think it's great.
Yeah, I'm happy with how it turned out, to be honest. It's just a funny at the start.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. It's really good. So that leads me to kind of my next question. So you can see people definitely have different ideas of how to spend their points. It looks like you took the strategy, perhaps, of grabbing a lot of kind of the middling tier Pokemon next up. I see a bunch of 10, 9, 10, 8, 12. So I see a lot of those kind of middle point Mons afterwards. So is that kind of an effort to fill slots while not burning away the rest of your budget like with those first two picks, or kind of what was your thinking kind of around things like the double dogs, the Houndstone, and the Dax Spun, and then like the Rapidash. We can get into the Terra Capsule later, but it's just interesting to me, I guess I would say.
Yeah, so I mean, after I realized I burned 40 points, I just wanted to I wanted to get all the rolls that I needed, but I didn't want to spend too much on them
Hmm.
because I didn't want to have, to fill the rolls with some garbage.
Yep.
So I saw Houndstone and I used it against a friend in a mock recently because he asked for a mock and I thought it was really good. Like it just absorbs everything. It's so bulky, it's crazy. So I
Hmm.
wanted to try it out and I thought it fit the team. Same with like I was looking at the speed tiers and what I needed. I needed a fairy. I
Hmm.
could have had a potential wish passer and dash bun, so I took it. Same
Yep.
with Rapidash, good speed tier,
Hmm.
looked nice. I just went on from there.
Yeah.
What I will say though, I had calculated the points wrong. I don't think it's that big of a difference, but I was gonna have Mightyena as my dark type instead of Grimer or Alola, but I realized I couldn't afford it, so
Oh
that's
shoot.
unfortunate. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, Grommer Lola, not the worst dark ever. That's kind of funny though. That yeah, I've definitely done that draft before. Like had a whole plan, it's all went great, and then I look and I'm like 2 points short or whatever it was. I don't know my Deanna's cost off the top of my head, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
unfortunate. I will say I'm a big Houndstone believer. Daxbun, I'm on the fence, but I do love a Houndstone. I think it would have been really interesting. I know that Weather Rocks are banned, so it's a little hard to get much value out of Weather. Houndstone in Sand actually can be pretty strong with like a Life Orb, Poltergeist, Body Press, even. Like, I know its coverage isn't crazy, but that's always an extra flex if you wanted to make a one Pokemon transaction, get something like a Hippopotas or a Gigalith in here. Like I think that's definitely a cool option for you to have. But Houndstone's primary role as that super physically defensive spin blocker is really solid on its own. So I like that pick a lot. Uh, Looking at your Terra Caps now. So when I think normal flyings, probably the last one I would ever think about would be Toucanon. Honestly, that one just it doesn't come to mind for me. So what were you thinking? And then also Whiscash. I love Whiscash. The topping's great. The stats are a little suspect, but the fact that it can be a spike setter, a dragon dancer, things like that. I really like your Terra Captains. I think they're off meta, but in a good way. So, what are your thoughts on those?
So I actually had two like mindset changes while drafting. So if you remember my introduction to the draft league when they were doing the captain announcements or whatever it's called,
Hmm.
my what they said was what trio is coming. That's what I put in my application.
Oh
And
yeah.
then right before we started drafting, in the same mock that I used Houndstone, there was also a Squawkabilly. And I want Squawkabilly was just blowing things up. So I was like, I gotta draft this Mon. It's gotta
Hmm.
be my guy.
Yep.
And then Squawkabilly gets taken. So I was heartbroken. And Toucannon was the same amount of points.
Hmm.
So now I'm just like I was looking at Toucannon stats and like its moves and its abilities. I'm actually a Toucannon believer now, so
Oh,
I'm really excited to
nice.
use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Honestly, not the worst substitute. I get it. I get it.
yeah, and then Whiscash, I needed a ground type, and then I wanted an 8 point Terra Cap with Toucannon.
Hmm.
So and it looked, a lot of utility, looked good. So
Yeah.
probably not the best like ground type as a role,
Hmm.
but I think it gets the job done.
Exactly. For 8 points, Whiscash, I think, hits well above its weight class. That water ground typing only being weak to grass, and you have a water that's not weak to grass. Like, yeah, you're
Mhm.
really set against grass, actually, now that I'm looking at your team. So the fact that it doesn't even need to Terra. Like you could bring double cap and Whiscash is totally chill and it's base typing. Like yeah, I like that a lot. I think Whiscash is very,
Yeah.
like I've said before, it's very good, very versatile. It's just the stats, but in low tier the thing is stats matter a little less because everybody's stats kind of suck. So I dig it a lot, and
Yeah.
yeah, Toucanon. I hope to see you do great things with it this season because I don't know. I think doesn't it get like it gets speed boosting in some way. Maybe. Why do I think it gets flame charge? Am I crazy?
I think it does. I would have to check real quick.
Yeah, yeah,
I think I mean it has a crazy moveset for no reason.
yeah. I know it gets
Like
the
just
skill link stuff, which is always good
yeah, it
on a
gets flame
Pokemon.
charge. I just checked.
Wow, okay, so yeah, you've got the speed boosting, you've got the crazy high attack, and you've got like the skill link coverage. So that alone actually, yeah, it sounds pretty decent for low tier. I don't hate that at all. So
Yeah.
with I guess if we're rounding out your team, I see the Rotom Frost, which is always an interesting Rotom form, you know, relying on blizzards as kind of your coverage, and then ice as a
Mhm.
defensive type is a little, you know, not everybody's favorite. But then I was actually eyeballing that Hisuian Sneasel for a while. You probably would have beat me to it. I think it was going to be in my last round of picks, but I feel like the mixture of the speed tier, the coverage, some of the tools it gets is just really good. Unfortunately, when you do compare it to its big brother form, it did it like it doesn't get Dire Claw, which is kind of sad. It doesn't get Unburden, but I think it's
Yeah.
still a
It's a good.
super solid pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it fit my speed tiers perfectly. I needed a poison type, and I needed an offensive mon. A lot of my guys are more defensive, unfortunately, but
Mhm.
so I
Yeah.
liked it and glad I was able to pick it up.
Yeah. It's super good. I think it's nice to have that speed tier too, because like obviously you have the crazy fast Mega Sceptile, but people aren't gonna like speed creep that with almost anything, right? Maybe a Scarfer, but otherwise, if your fastest mon on your board was Rapidash, then you'd see like people with 130s running like Modest or Adamant. So having that extra 115 prevents people from doing that. It's just super solid. I'm looking forward to seeing it do big things this season too. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, given that, schedule has been out for a little bit now. Have you had a chance to kind of look at your matchups? Does anybody stand out to you, either people you're playing this season or maybe people you dodged this season that have particularly scary teams or teams that excite you to play against?
I mean, so far, I've only really looked at my week one just because I've been gone. Like I got home yesterday from my trip, but
Yep.
I heard that from the few interviews I have watched so far that a lot of people are saying Pingu's a good player, and that's who I'm playing. So
Yep.
I'm excited. You know, it's my chance to show myself to everyone here.
But yeah,
Play a good player, see what happens.
exactly. Pingu, longtime veteran, brings some great stuff. I mentioned it in my interview with him, but I cheesed him out of a playoff run relatively recently, and I still feel bad because I floundered the playoff run immediately. So he definitely deserved it more than me. I think, yeah. So he's going to be out for blood. So I would be ready for some really creative stuff coming from him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
it's gonna be exciting.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. These week one battles are good. I'm thinking not making it official, but I'm hoping that maybe we can get some highlight streams going, have some guests on to watch back some of the replays. So hoping to see you bring some exciting stuff, and we can maybe load that up on streams in the future. So that would be pretty cool.
All right, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So given that, I know you said you kind of drafted your team in a hurry. You were traveling, you were busy. We had another coach like that, Cham. He actually left a whole flow chart behind for like one of his friends to pick his mons for him based on kind of what went what state. It was crazy. So
That's
given,
funny.
yeah, yeah, his is going up soon, his interview, and it'll have like an image of the flow chart. It's cool. But given that, you know, we get 5 transactions through the course of the season. So if you find that maybe some of your picks were done in a hurry, you don't like them as much, you can move things around. Obviously, there's a lot of power left on the board. So I don't know if you've had a chance to come back over it since the draft concluded, but does anything really stand out to you on this board? Could be a high tier, tear cap, even like the low tiers. Anything stand out to you that you're surprised that no one took it?
I mean, I didn't look at any specific mons. I was looking over like the. What surprised me is only like 3 pointers got taken, which is like crazy. Everyone just took all the high tiers and then just went straight down to like the mid tiers.
Yeah, I think we're all traumatized by past seasons of PGL where we would spend on like 2 top tiers and then take like I don't know if you've seen my team, but I have 3 pretty much borderline unusable Pokemon because I went super heavy into the expensive mons. And yeah, that's just kind of the PGL way, is let's not give people a budget that's fun. Let's make them actually like sweat and work for a cohesive team
Yeah.
that's also within the budget.
No, yeah, it was tough with the budget, just trying to get anything that works.
Yeah, yeah, and I couldn't imagine leading with 40 of your points getting cut right away. Like, what are you supposed to do from
Yeah.
there? Yeah, that's definitely a fun limitation.
hmm
Cool. Well, so you said you've only been in the draft scene for about a year, so I gotta ask, what got you into Pokemon draft to begin with? Were you originally like a kind of a Smogon ladderer, or were you more like casual player and you snuck into draft? What really what got you into the scene to begin with?
So around like Gen 8, like middle of Gen 8,
Hmm.
I didn't own a Switch, but like I liked Pokemon. I played like a lot of Pixelmon or something like that.
Yeah.
But like I never had a way of actually playing the games. And then I discovered Showdown. So
Hmm.
ever since then I played that a lot, played Ramblats, sometimes played some OU.
Hmm.
And then from there I discovered, some YouTubers, some like some Pokeaim, some all those guys that play Showdown.
Oh yeah.
And then I saw a draft video, and ever since then I was hooked. I thought it
Hmm.
was super cool, and I just wanted to try it out for myself. So I've been having a blast playing it.
Beautiful. We love to hear it. Love to get new people involved. That's my story too, but unfortunately, I'm ancient at this point, and so my first draft video I saw, I think, was pre-ORAS. It was like back in the X and Y era.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm old, dude. But you've been doing it ever since, on and off. Obviously, you take breaks, you get burnt out, but always
Yeah.
adore this format and the amount of creativity it takes. Because you can load up a Ranbats game and it's a little bit mindless. Like, obviously there's strategy involved, but you just
Yeah.
kind of you're clicking buttons at the end of the day. And then like OU, instead of building against certain teams, you're building against a whole tier, right? So
Mhm.
it's a completely different format, and I've always loved just how creative people get with this format. It's such a good time. It's such a different way to play.
Yeah, I agree. It's just like being able to customize everything exactly for your matchup. It's so fun trying to figure out what's good and what's not.
Yeah, exactly. And since you're relatively new to the format, I will give you a word of advice on physical ghost types. You will find if people have ghost weak Pokemon that otherwise don't really mind dealing with Houndstone, you're gonna see some no items because they are gonna show up. You're gonna click
Yeah.
Poltergeist, and you're gonna be real sad when it does 0 damage.
Yeah. I've seen that before. Uh, well, hopefully that doesn't occur too much for me. I need my Houndstone to put some work in.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. I just wanted to throw that out there because I ran a league. I think it's been a minute, but early in the generation, I ran a Houndstone, and it was so deflating because it was like a Poltergeist body press, and I went against another ghost, and it just brought no item, and I was screwed because like I could not do a thing to it, and it was just so deflating. So just a little thing that you might see.
Yeah,
It always got
I
me.
appreciate the heads up.
Yeah, yeah. That one got me good. But yeah, cool. Well, that's a nice, quick and clean interview. I appreciate your time. If you've got any final words for your fellow coaches, for people watching, you can go ahead and let them know.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. And if I had to say one last thing, I don't remember their name, but whoever took my Squawkabilly, you're gonna get cooked by two cannon.
Hang on. We're starting to beef in real time. I saw it earlier. I looked it up just a second ago. I swear.
It's a pro fail.
Pro fail. Oh, I was looking for Oh, he did take Terra Squawkabilly. All right, pro fail. You heard it here first. You're on notice. You are gonna get cooked by two cannon if you all play in the regular season, and if you don't, you're gonna have to meet in playoffs. But looking forward to that
Yeah.
rivalry coming to a head. Thank you so much for your time once again. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all in the next interview.